Hi students, this is Lakshman, lecturer in computer science from BRR and GKI Chambers Degree College, Palpur. Today I would like to discuss one of the important concepts in computer science, that is DBMS. So what is DBMS? Before going to discuss about database management system, first we have to know the fundamental concepts about the database management system. Okay, what is DBMS means? The abbreviation is database management system. So before going to discuss about database management system, first we have to know some fundamental definitions related to the database management system. So first one is data, information, database, metadata and database management system. Okay, so let us discuss one by one. So what is data? So data, we have various kinds of definitions related to the data in computer science, but related to this database management system, what is meant by data? So data is collection of raw facts, collection of facts that can be recorded. So facts that can be recorded. So what are the facts? Facts is nothing but, so the data is in the form of text, numbers, images, audio and video. So the data is in the form of text, numbers, images, audio and video. The data that contains only text and numbers, we call it as a traditional data. But nowadays, advanced databases are used. So we have to store the multimedia databases like audio and video. Okay, so that can be recorded. So facts that can be recorded, we call it as a data. Okay, so data in the DBMS is a very important component because there is no data, there is no database. Okay, so in DBMS, the data within the database management system can be classified into two types. One is the collection of information needed by organization. So collection of information needed by the organization, and next one is the metadata. So metadata, this is very important in database, metadata. So the collection of information needed by the organization, so that means the related data we have to take here consideration. Okay, unrelated data we can't take as data. Okay, so and next one is a metadata. So what is the meaning of metadata? Data about data, we call it as a metadata. Data about data. That means within the database we have to describe all the information related to the database. We call it as a metadata. Okay, so data means the facts that can be recorded. So the facts is in the form of text, numbers, images, audio and video. Okay, so I hope you are understanding the definition of data. Okay, the next one is the information. So information is nothing but processed data is nothing but information. Okay, so we are doing something, we are processing something, we get the information. Where we get the information, we extract from the data by using, we call it as a information. Okay, so when the data is in organized manner, we call it as a information. Unorganized data is not the information. It's the most important one. So when the data is in organized manner, we call it as a information. Okay, so the information within the database must be organized. Okay, so next one is very important one is database. What is database? So our subject name is database management system. What is database? So database is nothing but collection of database is a collection of related information, organized collection of related information. So what is organized? So database. So it is organized collection of related information. So organized collection of related information, we called it as a database. Okay, so that represents some real world entities. That represents some real world entities. So database is nothing but collection of related information. So the data within the database must be related data. So unrelated data is not the database. Okay, so we have to take the related data. That means if you are taking student database, all the data related to the students. If you are taking the customers, all the data related to the customers. Okay, that is meaning of related information. Okay, so we don't take it as one record is student data and one record is customers data. We don't call it as a database. So database is what? It contains the related information. Okay, related information that represents the real world entities. So what is the meaning of entity? All these things are discussed later. So organized collection of related information that represents the real world entities. Okay, so what is the actual definition of the database? So database is a structured, shared, integrated computer files that enables the end user's data and the metadata. Okay, so the database is the shared, integrated. What is the meaning of shared? You must and should share your data within the database. So that is the meaning of shared. What is integrated? We are combining all the files together and stored within the database. We called it as integrated. Okay, so the database is a shared integrated files that enables the end user data and metadata. End user data and metadata. What database contains? Database contains two types of data here. One is the end user's data and next one is the metadata. End user, who are the end users? We are the end users. We can store the data within the database, and also it contains metadata. So the definition of the database is the database is the shared, integrated computer files that enables the end users. It contains the metadata. Okay, so any unorganized information we don't call it as a database. It is just like a pile or a dump. Okay, only organized information we call it as a database. Okay, so the database can facilitate. We can use it for. So the database can be used for retrieving the information. Okay, retrieving. What is the meaning of retrieving? We can accessing the data from large amount of data. Okay, so where the DBMS comes into picture. So where it is come into the picture means when the data contains a large amount of data, we take the database. Okay, that means we can access the data from the database and reorganizing the data, so we can sort it out. So we can arrange in ascending order and descending order, so we can rearrange it. So we can filtering the data. Okay, so all these operations are done within the database. Okay, so data, information, database. Okay, and next one, so some of the important examples of database are, for example, I want to take classroom registers. You already know the classroom registers. So what is the purpose of classroom registers? So to make the attendance. Okay, so the teachers can take the attendance. So this is one of the example of database. The university database. The university database contains the information about the students, faculty, course details, and affiliated college details. All these are stored within the databases. Okay, and next dictionary. Okay, you already know about dictionary. What a dictionary contains? It contains the meanings. Okay, all the word meanings are stored in the dictionary. We call it as a database. It is a related information. Okay, so we called it as a database. So our next one is directory. Okay, telephone directory, we called it as a database because all the subscribers information is stored in the telephone directory. Okay, so that are the main examples of the database. Okay, the next one is the metadata. So what is the meaning of metadata? It is very important one in database. Okay, metadata means data about data is called metadata. Data about data. So whatever data stored within the database, that database data can be described as metadata. So metadata is nothing but metadata can be described as the characteristics of the data and a set of relationships, the links between the files and the data. Okay, so the metadata consists of what metadata contains. It contains how many number of files within the database. How many number of files within the database. Name of each file. Every file contains some name. So what is the name of each file? Okay, how many attributes are presented in the database? Okay, so the data type of each attribute, the association between the data and files, all these information are stored in the metadata. Okay, so data, information, database, metadata. Okay, so these are the important concepts. And next, very important one, that is DBMS. So what is DBMS? Okay, so DBMS is abbreviated, already you know what is DBMS, database management system. So database management system is a software. What is a DBMS? DBMS is a software which enables to create and maintain the database. Okay, so what is the meaning of DBMS? DBMS is a software which enables to create database and maintain the database. Okay. So DBMS is a software that enables to create and maintain the database. Okay, so it is a software, that means it is a collection of programs. Okay, the programs can be used to create and maintain the database. database. That means to create the database, to update the database. That means we are adding something to the database, we are removing something from the database. All these tasks are accomplished by using the DBMS software. Okay, so some of the popular DBMS softwares are the very well-known DBMS software is Oracle. Okay, and DB2. So DB2, MySQL, SQLite. Okay, so LibreOffice Base. Okay, Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL Server. All these are the well-known DBMS softwares. So Oracle, DB2, MySQL, SQLite, LibreOffice Base, Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL Server. Not only this, we have so many DBMS softwares are there. So some of the popular DBMS softwares are Oracle, DB2 and so on. Okay, so the DBMS can facilitate. So what it facilitates? So it is a process of defining, constructing, manipulating and sharing. Okay, so we can define what we are defining. Okay, so we have to define all the data types, all the constraints within the database we have to define. Okay, so all the data within the database can be defined. We call it as defining the database. And next one is the constructing. Okay, so the process of storing data in some storage medium, we call it as constructing. Okay, we are constructing the database. Okay, so next manipulating. So what is the meaning of manipulation? So we are changing something. So that means we are adding some data to the database. We are removing something from the database. All these tasks are performed by the DBMS. That is called manipulating. So next one is the sharing. Okay, what is the meaning of sharing? Means multiple users can share your database simultaneously. Okay, so for example, we are using the SBI bank database. So multiple users can access at the same time. So that is called the sharing. Okay, so the database can facilitate defining, constructing, manipulating and sharing. Okay. So one of the important one is the unauthorized user cannot access the database. The unauthorized users cannot access the database. Who is unauthorized users? The persons who are not having permissions to access the database. That persons are called unauthorized users. Okay, the persons that are not having permissions, that persons are called as unauthorized users. The unauthorized users cannot access the database. Who can access the database? Only authorized persons can access the database. For example, so the Gmail account, your Gmail account is one of the database. It contains the related information. Okay, so how can we access your database? With the help of the username and the password, we can access your database. Okay. So this is the database. It contains set of files. So this is the data. So assume this is the data. So this is the data. So this is database. Okay, so all these are the application programs. So we can access the database. Okay, all these are the application programs. Application programs. So who can access your data? All these are the users, end users or programmers. End users or programmers. So this is the actual database. This is the structure of the database. It contains the related information. Okay, so related information. So this is the application program. So why application programs? Okay, so the data within the database can be accessed by application programs. Who write the application programs? The programmers can write the application programs with the help of the programming languages like C, C++, Java, okay, .NET, ADA. So Python nowadays we are using one of the object-oriented programming Python. Okay, so C, C++, Java, .NET, ADA, Python, all these are the to develop the program application programs. Okay, so end users. Who is the end users? We are the end users. We can use the database. Okay, so the programmers. So the programmer can access the data within the database with the help of the application programs. Okay, so what are the characteristics of the?
Okay, so the next one is RDBMS. RDBMS. So already you know DBMS means what? Database management system. RDBMS is nothing but relational database management system. Okay, so what is the difference between DBMS and RDBMS? RDBMS is nothing but the data which is in the form of table. Okay, so it can maintain the relationships between the tables. That is the RDBMS. So most of the DBMS softwares can maintain the RDBMS. So relationships can be maintained. Okay, so the data is in the form of tables or relations. Tables or relations. So what is the meaning of table? It contains rows and columns. So rows and columns, we call it as a table. So the data is stored in the form of tables. We called it as relational database management system. DBMS is nothing but it is a software to maintain the database. Okay, so we can create the database, we can access data from the database. All these operations can be performed by using DBMS. Relational database management system mainly used to store the data in the form of tables. Okay, so I hope you are understanding the difference between the DBMS and RDBMS. Okay, so the next one is characteristics of the database management system. So what are the main characteristics of the database system? The DBMS must and should maintain the security and it does not allow the redundancy. Okay, so it maintains the security and does not allow Redundancy. What is the meaning of redundancy? Duplication. So the DBMS cluster should eliminate the redundancy with the help of one important concept in DBMS, that is normalization. Okay, so with the help of the normalization process, we can eliminate the redundancy within the database. Okay, and the DBMS must maintain multi-user environment. Multi-user environment. What is the meaning of multi-user environment? So multiple users can access your data simultaneously. Like banks. Okay, in the bank database, all the customers can access the same database at a time. That is simultaneously. Okay, so the DBMS can maintain multi-user environment. Okay, and the DBMS must maintain ACID properties. ACID properties. So what is the meaning of ACID properties? Means atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. So in every transaction, it must and should satisfy these four properties. One is atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. So then only the transaction is successfully completed. Okay, so all these properties can be maintained by using DBMS. Okay, so it maintains the multi-user environment to access the data simultaneously with the help of the DBMS software. Okay, so DBMS can maintain data consistent. So what is the meaning of consistent? So accurate data must and should maintain it with the help of the DBMS. So consistent or reliable data. Reliable data must be maintained with the help of the DBMS. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics of the database management system. Okay, and the next one is so what are the objectives of the database management system? What are the objectives? Okay, so let us discuss one by one. Okay, there are four major objectives of the database management system. So first one is data availability, data integrity, data security and data independence. Okay, data independence. So data availability, data integrity, data security, data independence. These four are the objectives of DBMS. Okay, so let us discuss one by one. So what is the data availability? The data must be available to the user, so with a very low cost. Okay, so for example, in a bank database, so the data is available to the users 24/7. Okay, so every user can access the data within the database in a given time. Okay, so there is no restrictions to access the data within the database. Okay, that is data available. So it is available to the end user at any time. Okay. So, and next one is data integrity. Integrity means what? The data within the database must and should maintain accurate data, correctness of the data. So the data that can be maintained correctness with the help of some constraints in DBMS. Okay, constraints. So what is the constraints? We have some constraints are there. One is primary key constraint, not null constraint, check constraint, unique constraint. So with the help of these constraints, it can make the data consistent. Okay. So that is data integrity. So it must and should maintain correct data. Reliable data must be maintained with the help of DBMS. Okay. Next one, data security. So security means what? To protect your data. Okay. So only authorized users can access your data. Unauthorized users cannot access your data. So who is authorized users and who is unauthorized users? The persons who are having to access the data, that persons are called authorized users. Okay. The persons having access permissions, that persons are called authorized users. The persons does not having access permissions, those persons are called unauthorized users. Okay. So permissions, not permission. Okay. So that is data security. The data security can be enforced by using the passwords. Okay. So by using passwords, we can protect your data, and all these passwords are maintained by the DBMS. Okay. And next one, data independence. So it's very important one, data independence. This is one of the advantages in database management system. Data independence. So what is the meaning of data independence? So data independence means the ability to change in the schema does not affect to the next higher level. So the ability to change in the schema does not affect to the next higher level. So let us discuss these one by using the three levels of architecture in DBMS. So what are the three levels we have? Okay. So the three levels are, so this is one level. So this is the user view or external level. Okay, user view. This is user view or external level. So user have many views. So view 1, view 2, that means many users have many views. Okay, so view 3, and the next one is next level is a conceptual level. Conceptual level. And the next one is the internal level. Internal level, and then next database. So this is database. So to store the data within the database must and should cross all these levels. So that is a user view, external level, conceptual level, and internal level, then database. Okay. So the conceptual level is also known as logical view, and next one is the internal level or physical view, physical level or physical view. Okay, so this is the user view, this is conceptual, this is internal, and this is the database. So what is the data independence? The ability to change in the schema definition does not affect the next higher level. That means if you change in the conceptual level, it does not affect the user view or external level. If you make any changes in the internal structure, internal level, it does not affect the next higher level, that is conceptual level. Okay, so data independence are of two types. Okay, one is logical data independence and next one is the physical data independence. So what is logical data independence? So this is the logical. Okay, so this is the logical view, this is the physical. So the ability to change in the logical schema, it does not affect the external schema, that is called the logical data independence. So there are two types of independences. One is the logical data independence and next one is the physical data independence. Physical data independence. So logical data independence means what? If you make any changes, the ability to change in the logical level, it does not affect the external level, that is called the logical data independence. Next, physical data independence. So the ability to change the internal structure or internal schema, it does not affect the logical level. Okay, so that is called the physical data independence. So the data must be independent to every level. It does not depend on another level. So it is independent to every level. Okay, so that is the main one of the advantage in DBMS. Okay, so these four are the objectives of the database management system. First one is data availability, data integrity, data security, and data independence. The independences are two types. One is logical data independence and physical data independence. I hope you are understand this concept. Thank you.
Okay, the next concept is evaluation of database management system. So from file-based to relational and object relational databases, the DBMS technology can gone through different stages, and the history is spread over the 40 years now. Okay, so from 1968, in the 1968, it is a era of file-based. Okay, so it is era of file-based. So it is the predecessor of the databases. So what is the predecessor of the file system? So what is the predecessor of the database? It is a file system. Okay, so the file system is mainly used to store the data in the form of flat files. So what is the meaning of flat files? It has no structure. Okay, so it has no proper structure. We call it as a flat file. Okay, so flat files. So earlier we are using the punched cards technology to store the data. Later on we use the file system. Okay, so the predecessor of the database is the file system, and the file system predecessor is the punched cards. Okay, so the flat files. So the punched cards technology is used to store the information in the form of flat files. Okay. Next one. So in 1968 to 1970s, 1980s, it is the era of hierarchical data model, hierarchical structure. Okay, so what is hierarchical structure? So the IBM's first DBMS is IMS. What is IMS? Information Management System. Information Management System. So the IMS plays major role in the mainframe environment to create the database. Mainframe environments to create the database. So hierarchical data model can be used to maintain the data. Okay, so records can be maintained in between the parent and the child relationship. Okay, that means every children at most one parent here. Okay, so the structure of the hierarchical data model is the tree-like structure. Okay, so it is a tree-like structure. So for example, so this is a parent A. So these two are the BC are the children of A. So B can have children. So this structure is called the hierarchical data model. That is, it is a tree-like structure. So some advantages are there in the hierarchical model. Okay, so what are the advantages of hierarchical model? So the data is independent to each other, and the data security is possible, and efficient searching. So if you want to search an element, it is easy to search an element in the hierarchical data model. So in the year 1960s, okay, so another model is called the network data model. So earlier 1960s, Charles Birchman designed the first IBMs, that is called IDS. Okay, so integrated data store. Okay, so integrated data store is used. So network data model, the files are stored in the relational manner, and the network data model can maintain the data in the form of owner and the member relationship. Okay, network model data structure is the owner and the member relationship. So the network model components are first one, network schema. So network schema, what is the meaning of schema? Means the description of the database, and the subschema. So subschema is nothing but, so all the views we can have to define in the network model, and the data manipulation language you have to maintain. So data manipulation. Language. Okay, so these three are the components of the network data model. Okay, so in 1970s, next one, in 1970s, it is era of relational data model. So the relational data model was proposed by the E.F. Card. Okay, relational data model was proposed by the E.F. Card. So the IBM's first database can be implemented in the 1970s. Okay, and next one. In 1970s. So there are two components of the relational. There are two components of the relational model. So one is the instance, and next one is the schema. Okay, there are two components in the relational databases. So one is the instance. What is the meaning of instance? So the table with rows and columns is called as instance. The table with the rows and columns, we call it as an instance. So what is the schema? So schema is nothing but, so the specification of the structure. We have to specify the structure of the database, that is nothing but schema. So the description of the database is nothing but a schema. So these two are the components of the relational databases. Okay, so next one, timelines of DBMS. Okay, in 1970s, relational model was developed by. Okay, so relational model was developed, and the IBM's first DBMS was introduced. IBM's first DBMS was introduced, which is known as IMS. Okay, so information management system. So later on it implements the DB2, database 2 is used to maintain the databases. Okay, and next 1976. So entity relationship model. So we call it as ER models. So Peter Chen introduced the ER model to represent the data. Okay, so in 1980s, relational database technology relational based DBMSs were designed. SQL standard was adopted by ISO and ANSI. Okay, and in 1985, so OODBMS, object-oriented database management system, was developed. Okay, and in 1990s, okay, so with coordination of the object-oriented database models, a new technology can be developed. That means OLAP technology. Okay, online analytical processing and internet web-based applications. Okay, ERP. Okay, so enterprise resource planning and MRP, management resource planning. All these are implemented in the year 1990s. And again, 1991. In 1991, Microsoft Access is used to develop the personal databases. So, which is used to develop the personal databases. And in 1995, first web databases, internet database applications was developed in the 1995. And in 1997, XML introduced in the databases. XML applied to the databases, and almost all the applications are applied to XML with the databases can be implemented in the year 1997. So these are the evolution of the database management system from 1968 to at present, the various stages that cross the databases very effectively. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next concept is classification of DBMS. So the database management system can be classified based on several criteria. So such as, it is based on data model, based on number of users, based on distribution or location, based on usage. Okay, so the database management system can be classified as data models based on the data models, number of users, distribution or location, and usage. Okay, so based on data models, we have some data models are there. Okay, so what are the data models we have? We have hierarchical data model, network data model, relational data model, and object oriented data model. Object oriented data model. So hierarchical data model. So the data in the form of, in hierarchical data model, the data is in the form of tree-like structure. So the structure of the hierarchical model is tree-like structure. So the data can be represented is in the form of parent and child relationship. Okay. So for example, so the DBMSs are IMS. Okay, information management system, the first implemented by IBM, and Windows registry, so implemented by Microsoft. Okay, so next one is a network data model. In the network data model, the data is in representation of owner and the member relationship. That means a children has number of parents. Okay, so in network model, so for example, the network model is CA-IDMA. Okay, so computer, so computers can use, if the number of connections are more, we can use the network model. Okay, and next one is the relational model. So what is the relational model? The data is in the form of tables. Okay, in the relational data model, the data is in the form of tables. We use the relational model. So examples of relational models are, so one is Oracle, MySQL, SQL, Microsoft SQL Server. All these are the examples of relational database management system. So next one is OODM, that is object oriented data model. So in object oriented data model, the data is stored in the form of objects. Okay, so used in object oriented programming. Okay, so with the help of OODM, the data is stored in the form of objects. Examples are object DB. So that is object oriented database is the example of object oriented data model. So these are the data models we have: hierarchical data model, network data model, relational data model, object oriented data model. So next one is based on number of users. Okay, number of users. So the users are single user database, single user, multi-user databases. Okay, so based on the number of users, it can be classified into single user, multi-user. What is single user databases? Only single person can use the database is known as the single user database. Okay, for example, there are three persons A, B, C. If a person A is used the database and B and C are wait to accomplish the task of A. Okay, so they can must and should wait. Okay, so only one person can allowed in the single user database. Okay, and next one is a multi-user database. In the multi-user database, number of persons can access the database simultaneously. So for example, our bank databases can access a number of customers within the database. Okay, so that is called the multi-user database. Next, based on the distribution or location. Based on the location, the database can be classified into two types. One is centralized database and next one is the distributed database. Centralized database, distributed database. So the DBMS and database are stored in a single site. So both the DBMS software and database is located in one site or single site. What is the meaning of site? Means location. In a single location, we call it as a centralized database. Okay, and a distributed database. So the DBMS software and databases are stored different locations. On different locations, we call it as a distributed databases. Okay, so centralized means say DBMS software and as well as database are stored in a single location or one site. We call it as a centralized. Distributed is nothing but different locations we have to store both DBMS software and as well as database. Next, the distributed databases again classified into homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous and the heterogeneous. So homogeneous database means what? So homogeneous means the same database can be used on different sites. Same database. Only one database can use multiple persons, multiple sites. We call it as a homogeneous distributed databases. Heterogeneous database means different locations, different DBMS softwares. We call it as a heterogeneous distributed databases. Okay, so same database can be used by different sites. Different DBMSs use different persons is known as heterogeneous data types. Okay, so centralized distributed can be classified as homogeneous and heterogeneous. And next one, based on usage. So based on usage, we can be classified as online, OLTP, OLAP, open source softwares. Okay, and big data and analytics DBMS and analytics DBMS. So OLTP, OLAP, open source, big data and analytical DBMS. So what is OLTP? Online transaction processing. Okay, OLTP is abbreviated as online transaction processing. So they manage the operational data. OLTP can manage the operational data. Okay, so database servers must be able to process lot of transactions within the OLTP. Okay, so OLTP can be managed many transactions at the same time. Okay, and next one, OLAP. What is OLAP? Online analytical processing. Okay, online analytical processing. Okay, so in the use of operational data to make tactical and strategic decisions. Okay, so by making tactical and strategic decisions and to solve the complex problems by using OLAP. Okay, next one, open source databases. It is public to everyone. Everyone can access the DBMS software and use it. Okay, it is an open source databases. And next one is big data and analytics. So what is big data? So big data is a new technology to nowadays. Okay, so the best example is NoSQL. NoSQL. So NoSQL is nothing but not only SQL. Okay, So it is a new technology to process huge amount of data. Okay. So these all are the different classification of DBMS softwares. Okay. I hope you are understanding this concept. Thank you.